Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another installment to our summer blockbuster exploration extravaganza of all of the everyday heroes' cinematic adventures. And today, as you can tell, we are going to talk about The Crow. This one is an all time personal favorite of mine. It's right up there with Kong Skull Island. And we are going to go ahead and get right into it, folks. Here we have The Crow. We've got the opening. Who did our cover art? It is, of course, David Chen. I think this right here, I'm telling you right now, that cover is what got me into this game. The moment I saw that, I was like, I am on board. Ladies and gentlemen, The Crow is so cool. It is my all-time favorite. It is one of my all is it means so much to me as a person. The movies are fantastic. I love them. I love them all. Even the bad ones are still pretty good. Which I mean, there's only really one bad one, and that's Wicked Prayer. Honestly, the second one, I know some people kind of give it some crap. Man, I still love it though. Honestly, there's times where I'm like, man, it almost edges out the first one for me at times. Just because of the exploration of Ash trying to find love again, and in hopes that maybe finding a second chance at life and all of that, but knowing that his mission is what's going to come first, and just having to accept death is just oh god, the themes of it. Sorry, The Crow is just amazing. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just read Goober's introduction. I'm gonna break my, buck the trend here today, and I'm just gonna read through this whole thing. So bear with me. I don't care. I'm gonna get through it. When I told a friend that I had never seen The Crow, she insisted that we watch it as soon as possible, and she was right. I was too young to experience the movie when it first came out, and I didn't encounter the franchise until I was a teenager. And the third movie, The Crow Salvation, appeared on TV. The one didn't that one didn't really grab me, and I assumed that it was just what the Crow franchise was like. And when I finally watched the original, I understood what made the story in the world of The Crow truly special. The Crow is extremely atmospheric and emotional movie, drawing you into its dark and grim world through the eyes of Eric Draven, portrayed in a stunning performance by the late Brandon Lee. It dwells in the negative and letting you really experience that darkness and the sadness, but in the end, it delivers a message full of hope. It says that the world can be dark and cruel and painful, and even that will be those things, and that's not all there is. There is love in the world too, and that's worth something. And it is not a happy movie, but it's a deeply kind one. I'm extremely excited to be able to bring the world of this world to everyday heroes. It focuses on some of my favorite aspects of the role-playing game, such as dark themes with a dash of hope and exploring the journeys of traumatized characters, and of course, cool supernatural powers. My hope is that this book allows you to tell stories that mean as much to you as The Crow means to its fans, or at least let you have a good time with some good friends. And if you can do that, I've surely succeeded. And with kindness, you got Goober Ramsley. All right, so you got the introduction, which goes on to talk about the movies. Big Goober. I'm sorry. I think Goober prefers to go by they. So I apologize if I get that wrong. Um, Try not to be disrespectful to anybody here. Pretty sure Goober goes by they. Um, so you got the world of the Crow and terminology. You got the underworld. So your terminology is the Crow and Reborn, ritual spell, soothsayer, spirit of death, and underworld. You got heroic options like you got your backgrounds, the abused, counterculture, cult escapee, near death experience, occult family, saved by the spirit, street rat, suicide survivor, professions. You got a bartender, charity, chop shop jockey, fortune teller, a kid. You can actually play as a kid, a magician, a cultist, pawn shop owner, snitch, and starving artist. And here you have the classes. The Reborn is a wise hero, which I, again, as Robarian, I'm going to tell you, I pride myself that I rescued the Reborn away from being a charismatic character and made a very good, apparently a very strong and winning argument for Reborn to be a wise hero. And I'm very grateful because wise heroes is my favorite class of all. So I'm happy to have rescued Reborn away from being a charismatic or a tough character. I'm so grateful I was able to convince them back in the days when they were talking about doing this. So here we got this beautiful, beautiful art here of all the different spirit totems, or what they should be called are psychopomps. That's a good term for the spirit animals that deliver the dead or are symbols of death. Animals that usually are representative of death, psychopomp. So there is your dime store word for the day. And here we go. We've got the breakdown of the class, and of course, like I said in previous videos, and like we've discussed inside of our class discussions and vault discussions, whenever you get into the metaphysical classes, like the smart characters, the wise characters, and the charismatic characters, you better expect walls of texts, because baby, that's what you got coming to you. You got the butterfly, you got the cat, you got the crow, you got the mastiff, which I hope you should be buying that handkerchief there from Everyday Hero website. Hopefully by when this video comes out, it'll still be on sale. It's made to print, they make it to order, and it's hands down, it's so cool looking. I'm gonna get myself one. If I haven't gotten one already by the time this video comes out. Here we got the moth, we got the owl, we got the snake, we got the spider, and then on to the soothsayer. Now, again, we've talked about these ones back in our vault. I'll tell you, when we were doing that episode, my throat was going so dry talking about these classes. But soothsayer, it's a cool one for sure. Here we got the feats. You got distracting flourish and knife fighter and pyro and ritual lore. Multi-class feats. You have spirit servant feats, which are good for those who passed away in the game, and you get to play as one. You have equipment. You have new rules, which of course is ritual magic. So look forward. This is probably going to get explored way more in the Everyday Arcana book that's due to come out. They're probably going to be expanding on all this, especially giving us solid spell lists and extra magic. Going more into things like exorcism and corpse puppeting and mental invasions, conjuring the dead, and things of that nature. Here we have the Game Master advice, so playing as spirit allies, and Reborn on a team, and setting the mood. So, of course, this game is going to be much more mature. Usually you can find that right back here on the back. As you can see, every game has a little square that lets you know where it is and the age recommendations. And so this game is recommended for adults. I would say just right off the tip top that if you do have sensitivities around the topics of death or certain kinds of assaults, if you catch my drift, I would maybe stay away from this adventure. Some of those themes are not worth looking into. But other than that, it is just a game. Always remember that. It's just a game. It's there for a sense of entertainment and just a sense of escapism. Just learn to, kind of get through, I mean, it's for, it can be for anybody. But again, if you can't handle it, there's nothing wrong with stepping away from the table, and having fun in another game. So here we got adventure ideas. You got like the Destroyer of Lives, the Disciples of the Inn, Evening of the Dead, Honorable Jailbreak, and Reborn Hunters. Here you have Prayers of the Past. Now, some of the guys have played this, and they said that it's really interesting. Particularly, your characters like battles their way out of hell right off the bat for anybody who plays the Reborn. So, which is really really cool. So this starts on page 47 as your introduction. We're going to go ahead and keep fast forwarding all the way up towards the end. You got some maps there. Some of the things that I wish that game companies would do would take some of their maps from the inside of the book and print them out, put them on like a double-sided paper, double sides and stuff like that, and allow those for purchase, and or put them maybe in a book. That you can tear away the maps as you need them, or maybe unfold them as you need them, something like that. But yeah, that's just just an idea for future reference. I think one of the other things too. So one of the ideas that I had pitched to them. So outside of that was taking these books and printing them in more of a digestive form and putting them inside of collective DVD cases. I thought that would have been a really cool idea. I hope that they do borrow that idea from me. Please steal it. It would be so much fun. So this adventure ends on page 86. So you get from page 47 to 86, which is a nice size adventure. Not nearly as long as some of the previous ones, but still good. Here you have your supporting cast. Knife juggler, a bunch of criminal types. You got spirits and creatures. Some of them are more mystical and mythological. Such as the Medusa here. You got that going on for you. And keep on flipping. Okay, here we go. Key characters. So here we have Eric Draven and Daryl Albrecht. You've got Sarah as a child and Sarah as an adult. They have both. They have Ash Corvin. They also have Sybil, who was the soothsayer from the second film. Continuing on, they've got the pre-generated characters, such as the soothsayer that you can play as. They have one that is a reborn here of the Omen of Disasters. They have another reborn of Omen of Vengeance. Another one for Omen of Love. Another one that's of the Maniac. They're personal enemies. The Maniac, sorry. The Omen of Pain is what they are. And then, of course, you got your license agreement here on the end. And that's what this book is all about. Honestly, this book has some of the best internal artwork. I love it so much. It's got the greatest cover. I want to get this as they had this as a poster, or they had it as a poster. I'm pretty sure they still have it. If they do, I'm getting it. I've been wanting to get one for a good long time. And of course, again, here we are at the end of the video, and ladies and gentlemen, you really think this is going to end in any other way? But I'm just going to recommend the book. What can I say? You read the original graphic novel of The Crow by James O'Barr, which the movies are based off of. Pick it up. This is my copy. I've had this copy for over 20 years. Yeah, over 20 years now. I got this when I was a freshman in high school. And man, I've read this thing from cover to cover. Oh my god, at least a dozen, 2 dozen times, probably about close to 2 dozen times. I read it maybe. I pick this up and I read it about every other October, Good googly moogly. Yeah, and I read it several times just in high school. Um, the one that I got is it's an expanded cut. It's all in black and white. It is seriously it is such an easy read. You're gonna enjoy it. It gets reprinted. It, every few years it goes back into print, and it's worth the price. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it again. I'm pretty sure you can find it in like cheapgraphicnovels.com or in stock trades. You can always try thriftbooks.com. I always those are my three top sites I always recommend people to, just so you can save yourself some money. And if you want to stay away from, if you have issues with Amazon, yeah, you can always get it through there. But yeah, no, I absolutely, man, I love this stuff so much. Again, The Crow is the whole reason why I even got into Everyday Hero. If they never would have made this, I don't think I even would have explored um, Everyday Hero to the extent that I would have. I probably would have just bought the core rule book. Um, maybe would have bought the vault, and then, yeah, I don't know, maybe played it a couple times. I got some friends that were really big into Highlander. They're really big into Highlander, so maybe I would have bought that too. I don't know. Kong Skull Island. I think, yeah, Kong Skull Island probably would have been. Now I'm thinking about it. Probably would have been the only cinematic adventure for the long. I would have bought for the longest time. But really, hands down, this is what got me into it. And so, with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, living and dead, please hit the like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. We'd like to join. We'd like to have you join our discussions and comment down below. These videos are set for children and all ages. We really want to generate that buzz, so we're kind of making a lot of these videos all ages. So if you wanted to comment, I apologize. I'll have public posts available on our page. So if you want to talk about what this video and take that discussion, we'll make sure we put it in there for everybody. But yeah, we're really trying to aim all these cinematic adventure books for discussions for people of all ages, so we can get that interest in the game and in our show, and try to get that audience, and really just hoping we can inspire more people to play these games. And so, with that, everybody, you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.